And so part of my, we're like the old school model, so we do wildfire suppression, medical rescue, search and rescue, law enforcement, and research on top of it all. So do a little bit of monitoring, and so I just kind of worked into the bat stuff. We have a volunteer program that we, send people out to the ponds and have them count bats for us, and so the main bat guy over there that's been doing work for about 15 years on the property, I just started mist netting with him, and it's been awesome. So I decided, all right, that'll be fun. Why not come back over here and give it a shot? So yeah, so I'm officially a researcher with Rumble. I went through their permit process so I can then survey up and down the East River Valley. Cool. And so and I'm working under the Division Wildlife permit through Rick Adams, Dr. Rick Adams. I don't know if you've heard of his name yet at all, but anyway, if you get a chance, check out his work. He's awesome. Basic census stuff, population tracking, see if ranges have changed. The first really comprehensive work was Dave Armstrong stuff in the late 70s.
The mesh is like these little squares that are about 1.5 inches wide, and you stretch them out. They're not squares anymore. And that's the size mesh. And what happens is when that flies in, and they don't get entangled in the way that like a fly gets caught in a spider web, where they're actually literally stuck. They kind of catch themselves. They're kind of, they kind of grab. And birds do this especially. So the bat probably, if it could just get its senses, if it could just think a little bit about it, it could probably get out. In fact, they do get out a lot. You got to kind of get out there before they get out, because they flap around. If they get their nail that's hooked in there. Oh, Burton, have you told everybody where you work?
I did start to. For those of you who missed it, I'm actually a park ranger for the City of Boulder on their open space property. So wander around they have about 45,000 acres now that's owned by the city. But massive recreational use and but a high level of resource protection as well. And so that's my job, is to sit at both ends. And so I get yelled at by a lot of people for closing stuff off, and other people are very happy about what we're doing. So it's interesting.
What brings you out here?
So I was a student here, 87 through 89. Yeah, and the professor back at Bradley University in Illinois, where I went to school, that came out here, she's still actually studying wood rats and doing some aspen and stuff too. So Barb Fraze, if you ever see her around.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm actually staying down in Gunnison with her. Yeah, and doing this work, and we'll see if it builds into something else in the future. I'm hoping to spend a little bit longer time. So, because I'm using vacation time from work, and and I borrowed all this stuff from my guy that I work with and study bats out there, Rick Adams. So good stuff. So pull the bat out of the net, pop them in the little bag, whoop, and then you can just depends on how fast the bats hit. A lot of times, because some of you heard, they tend to come in waves, and by species as well. As each colony comes out and heads for the water holes to drink. So it gets kind of busy sometimes, and so for a while we may just be pulling bats out of the net and then handing these bags off to you to just tie into the branches of as long as they're free hanging, it's okay. So they'll do well by themselves in there for a little while, and then once the activity slows down, then hopefully then we can get over and process them, which means simply...
Do the same thing with birds, by the way. You just put them in bags, it's like that, hang them up.
Yeah, let them hang.
Yeah, they calm down, their heart rate goes down, and they just...
Yep.
Should we bring a few more lights?
Oh, I think probably we're okay. As long as he and I got them, because probably only room for 2 people in there.
Sure.
Yeah. And then it's just weigh them, get the wonderful the wonderful wrap. So you wrap them up in the nylon, and then you're able to weigh them pretty effectively that way. So.
How long are you guys going to be out here?
Good question. We'll see what the activity's like. Typically, at least over the Front Range, it's an hour and a half after sunset kind of thing that the bats are coming, and then it seems like they slow down, after 10, 10:30, something like that. So,
can we go somewhere and come back?
It's up to him.
Well, that's fine, yeah.
Doesn't bother me.
You guys do whatever you need to do, yeah. So.
There. See that? See that knuckle?
Where are we looking?
See that last under my pointer finger here?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that's adult. So bone's ossified. Not ossified. Just so you are. Yep. You know? Yeah. Yeah. So there's a little teat there. Yep. You see that?
Uh-huh.